It's pretty surprising, actually, because I used to want to become a rock star, and you know, I started singing in a church choir when I was around 7 years old, and then I started practicing the piano. And I used to play in a few different bands during high school, and I started writing some of the music that we played, and I realized that I liked the writing process a lot more than the actual performances. So I think gradually I realized that I was gonna be a composer. Yeah. So when I got my first when I got the chance to write the music for my first video game, I just knew that this was the perfect match. I got to do what I love the most, which is write music and play video games. So perfect. With HeR Interactive, it's just so easy, because they have producers who've done a lot of my work beforehand. They sit down, play through the early builds, and you know, just decide what kind of music that they want in each scene, and they even find like examples of music that would go well with each scene. So, and they send everything to me, and my job, which makes my job a lot easier, because I can concentrate on writing music right away. So that's just great. The only person that the only character that comes to mind would be some kind of Hugh Grant type, like very clumsy, but also charming, which I think fits the bill. Yeah. Oh man. I think I would have to travel to England in the late 70s. Why? Because if I had to fulfill my dreams of becoming a rock star, I would have to be transported back in time, because every time I write a pop song or a rock song, everything ends up sounding like something out of the late 70s. I've always loved spy movies, and you know, I'm a big fan of the James Bond series, and even the Pink Panther, the original Pink Panther series with Peter Sellers. It's just brilliant to watch these people in grey cotton coats with cool hats and dark sunglasses, really looking through newspapers with holes in them. You know, it's just so funny, and so yeah, wow, so cool. So I really didn't have to think like a spy, because I do spend a lot of time in general thinking about spies, and I enjoy watching spy movies. Yeah, I do, and I don't think it's gonna be the same track that the fans will choose as their favorite, because you know, it's always difficult to predict these things. But I have a personal feeling that Memories and the spy theme will do well with the players. But my personal favorite is probably gonna be Expectations. I just think that it's a good song, and it's got a really nice build up that I enjoy. So I think from a songwriting perspective, expectations is pretty solid. I think, you know, I've had a lot of crazy adventures over time, you know, touring with my band and traveling around Europe and playing music and being on television with your own music. You know, it's just, wow, cool. But by far the best adventures I've ever had was becoming a parent. When my daughters were born, you know, that was just a crazy adventure starting right there. So I'm gonna have to say that becoming a dad is my greatest adventure. Well, I live in Norway, which is pretty famous for having some weird dishes. And I think the weirdest of them all has to be rakfisk, which is like rotten fermented fish, which is eaten with sour cream wrapped inside a potato pancake. And what really surprised me the most was that it was actually a lot better than I had feared, because you know I'm a bit picky when it comes to food. So I was pleasantly surprised. It's never gonna be my favorite meal or anything, but eating rotten fish really took a lot of I really had to work with myself before I tasted it, but I was pleasantly surprised, I have to say. There's a lot of other weird food up here in Norway, like sheep's head and lutefisk, which is fish that has been treated in some kind of lye solution. But you know, I think rakfisk, the rotten fish, is the weirdest of them all. Well, I think you know, the thought hasn't really occurred to me, but if I had to become a superhero, I think my special ability would be flying. Yeah, my special power would be flying, because you know I've always dreamed of being able to fly, but I wouldn't necessarily be a good superhero, I think, because I would spend my time up in the skies and just fly wherever I want to go, and just, you know, yeah, don't give me powers, because I would just use them on myself. Well, I'm pretty versatile when it comes to music. I listen to pretty much everything. I turn on the radio when I'm in my car and I listen to mainstream music, and I listen to jazz music, I listen to film scores. No, I'm really very versatile. And I listen to a lot of game music, of course, because that's what I do. So I try to keep myself updated, but it's difficult. There is a lot of great music out there. But you know, I was brought up with the piano, and obviously I've looked for people who have used the piano as a main instrument. So you know, I'm very fascinated by people like Billy Joel and Elton John, and you know, all those good old rock dudes from the 70s and 80s. You know, piano has been overlooked for many years, but so I find myself looking back every once in a while, you know, going through my whole CD collection and listening to the old music. But in general, I'm pretty versatile. I think the only thing I don't listen to as much is techno music. You know, the whole kind of music, which gets old pretty fast. Well, I respect all my fellow composers, you know, and not a day goes by without me hearing something and going, wow, I wish I had written that myself. And now there is a lot of envy, but you know, envy is good because it motivates me. So, and I cannot help but admire and respect Kevin Manthey, you know, the guy who wrote the music for the previous for the earlier Nancy Drew games, because you know he defined the sound of Nancy, and it's been a humbling experience taking over after Kevin, because he's just done such a great job, and the fans they're familiar with his style of music, and obviously I can't write the same way he did. So people have to get used to a new kind of style, which is difficult and very, but also very rewarding and humbling, and it's a real honor to write the music for Nancy Drew, for such an established franchise. So that is, you know, I really respect and admire Kevin for that. And of course, I admire all the big Hollywood composers, John Williams, John Powell, Hans Zimmer, Alan Silvestri, you name it. They're all just in a completely different league. And you know, I use them as an inspiration for my own music, which is cool. You know, of course, I have a dream of one day scoring a big Hollywood title, but you know, it's for now they'll certainly do as sources of inspiration. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy my music, and I hope you enjoy The Silent Spy. Bye bye.